Imagine this: you're standing in the middle of a chaotic city street. Horns blaring. People are yelling into their phones. News alerts flash every 2 seconds. The world around you is spinning faster than ever, but you're still. Calm. Clear. Unmoved. Now ask yourself, what kind of person doesn't get pulled into the noise? What do they know that most people don't? This is where Stoicism comes in. It's not just ancient philosophy, it's a survival guide for modern life. But here's the catch: true Stoics aren't just defined by what they do, they're defined by what they refuse to do. Stick around, because in this video, we're breaking down 5 actions a Stoic would avoid at all costs, and avoiding just one of them might completely shift the way you handle stress, decisions, and your entire day. Stoicism is often misunderstood as cold indifference or a suppression of emotions. In reality, Stoicism is a vibrant, action-oriented philosophy, deeply concerned with how we live and who we become. At its core, it's about aligning ourselves with nature, cultivating virtue, and remaining steadfast in the face of external chaos. But just as important as what a Stoic does, is what a Stoic refuses to do. In fact, some actions are so antithetical to Stoic principles that avoiding them is not just wise, it's essential. In this video, we will explore 5 actions a Stoic would avoid at all costs, not out of fear or rigidity, but out of a deep understanding of what leads to inner peace, moral integrity, and a life worth living. 1. Complaining about external events. Like Epictetus would say, don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well. Complaining is the opposite of acceptance. It's a signal that we believe we are entitled to something different than what nature has delivered. To the Stoic, this is not only futile, it's a violation of reason and harmony with the world. In the Stoic worldview, events themselves are neutral. They are neither good nor bad, they simply are. What makes them appear pleasant or painful is our judgment of them. Complaining, therefore, is not just a reaction, it's a failure to see things clearly. It implies a refusal to accept reality and a desire to bend the world to one's will, something no human being truly controls. When Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength," he was reminding himself, and us, that suffering often comes not from the event itself, but from our resistance to it. Instead of complaining, a Stoic observes. They look at the situation, understand what can be changed, and act where action is possible. If change is not possible, they exercise acceptance, not resignation, and focus inward. They use each event, however uncomfortable, as material for practice. 2. Acting out of rage or impulse. No man is free who is not master of himself, Epictetus. While modern culture may glamorize the fiery outburst or the bold impulsive move, Stoicism sees uncontrolled emotion, particularly anger, as a form of weakness. Anger is not strength. It's often a loss of control disguised as passion. Stoicism emphasizes logos, and reason, as the defining quality of humanity. When we act out of blind rage or unexamined impulse, we surrender our reason to the baser elements of our nature. In doing so, we become reactive rather than proactive, slaves to external stimuli rather than rulers of our internal world. Seneca, in his brilliant work on anger, describes anger as a form of temporary madness. It distorts our judgment, exaggerates offenses, and often leaves us with consequences far worse than the initial provocation. Rather than suppressing emotion, a Stoic understands it. They examine its source, question its validity, and decide consciously whether to act on it. This doesn't mean coldness, it means clarity. They pause before reacting. They create space between stimulus and response. This space is where freedom lives. 3. Pursuing fame and fortune as ends in themselves. If you seek tranquility, do less. Or, more accurately, do what's essential, which brings a double satisfaction: to do less, better. Marcus Aurelius. In the modern world, success is often measured by visibility and material accumulation. But to the Stoic, these pursuits are hollow if not rooted in virtue. Wealth, fame, and beauty, these are what Stoics call indifference. That is, they are not inherently good or bad. What matters is how and why they are pursued. If you chase fortune to prove your worth or seek fame to feed your ego, you're building your life on shifting sand. Fortune may vanish. Reputation may turn. But virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance are unshakable. Epictetus warned his students not to envy the rich or powerful. They may appear happy, but without virtue, their inner lives may be in chaos. A Stoic would rather be unknown and upright than celebrated and corrupt. Success, to the Stoic, is living in accordance with nature and reason. It's acting justly, no matter who is watching. It's doing the right thing, even if no reward follows. Ironically, this deep inner integrity often earns admiration, but the Stoic does not seek it. Their eyes are on a higher prize, self-mastery. 4. Indulging in self-pity or victimhood. It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus. Life brings hardship. This is a given. But what separates the Stoics from the rest is their refusal to be defined by misfortune. To wallow in self-pity is to surrender one's agency, to become a passive character in the story of your own life. The Stoics knew suffering. Marcus Aurelius buried several of his children. Epictetus was born into slavery. Seneca was exiled and eventually ordered to take his own life. None of them used their pain as an excuse to shrink or hate the world. Instead, they saw adversity as an opportunity to demonstrate virtue. Self-pity, on the other hand, keeps us small. It reinforces the idea that we are at the mercy of fate, that we are powerless. Stoicism teaches the opposite. While we cannot control what happens to us, we always control how we respond. Stoicism offers a powerful reframe. Every hardship is a test. Every slight, every failure, every wound is a chance to practice endurance, to build character, to grow stronger. The Stoic does not ask, "Why me?" They ask, "What can I do with this?" 5. Betraying one's principles for convenience. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Seneca. In a world full of shortcuts and temptations, the greatest risk isn't failure, it's compromise. When the Stoic speaks of virtue, they speak of a code that cannot be bought, bent, or bartered. To betray your principles for comfort, popularity, or gain is to commit a kind of spiritual suicide. You may gain externally, but inside, you fracture. You weaken the very core of your character. Stoics believe that virtue is not negotiable. You don't lie when it's convenient, cheat when it's profitable, or remain silent when courage is required. This isn't about perfection, it's about alignment. Your values must match your actions, or peace will elude you. Even in the face of threat or loss, the Stoic asks, what is the right thing to do? That question becomes their North Star. It may cost them money, relationships, or even their life, but not their soul. And to the Stoic, that is the ultimate line that must never be crossed. In an age obsessed with doing more, achieving more, and acquiring more, Stoicism offers a radical inversion. Sometimes wisdom lies not in addition, but in subtraction. In consciously avoiding certain actions, we carve out space for clarity, strength, and purpose. To be Stoic is not to be emotionless, it is to be principled. It is to be calm not because nothing matters, but because the right things do. And if we can learn to avoid these 5 pitfalls, not perfectly, but with growing awareness, we move closer to the ideal of the Stoic sage, a person of deep inner power, outward grace, and unwavering integrity. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more content like this.